Welcome to Ladders. And we're just going to skip right to it. If you're here watching this, congratulations, because there's no point in listening to a fantasy football breakdown unless you're in the finals or maybe the semifinals if you're in some kind of psychopath league that runs its finals in week 18. God bless. That sounds terrible. But rather than talk about the guys you want to pick up, your rosters are set at this point. Let's go in the opposite direction. And Yash, let's talk about the guys we are running away from screaming. Yes, the guys who've been entrenched on your roster, the guys who are heavily owned in Yahoo, who you want to fade in week 17. Yash, you got one rule, 85% owned or higher.
Okay.
Who's the first guy you would sit in week 17?
All right, and it's going to kill me because he's been one of my guys all year, but Emeka Egbuka is heading to the bench if he is in your fantasy finals plans. The wheels just fell off week 16. Once we had the full allotment of receivers, we got to see the true colors of the Tampa Bay Bucks, and for Emeka Egbuka, that was the result of 2 targets, 1 reception. Granted, it was for 40 yards, but it just caps off a run of 40 yards, 32 yards, 42 yards, 15 yards, 64 yards, and then 40 yards. So, I mean, it's been over a month and a half now, even longer if we go back to before the bye, of him being any sort of help for your fantasy team. He's simply not the guy that was there weeks 1 through 5. And I just don't think that the Bucks in general look very good right now. So unfortunately, you could AD Mitchell, any waiver wire fodder at this point would be just as risky starting one of them, and just go with somebody who's got more of a role, because clearly his is evaporated.
Yeah, can you imagine even thinking that? Like, he comes out of the season, he starts so hot. Baker Mayfield, 4 fourth quarter comebacks, relying heavily on the rookie, and everything falls apart. And it's just been a mess in Tampa Bay right now. Carolina looking like it's going to take over the division, which is absolutely wild to think about. I'm actually going to go in an opposite direction. I'm going to take a guy who's been thriving a little bit lately.
Okay.
The Dirt God himself, Dallas Goedert. 12-plus points in his last 3 games, each of them. But this is a guy who disappears for stretches. He had a 4-game double-digit point streak. He backed that up with a 4-game single-digit point streak. And now he's going up against a very tough matchup for him in Buffalo. Now, the Bills, they allow fewer receptions to tight ends than anyone in the NFL, or maybe the second most. Let's see. Yes, a season-low 42 receptions to tight ends. On top of that, we got Saquon Barkley going up against that soft as goose crap Bills run defense.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of handoffs in Philadelphia. It's going to be a great day to have Saquon Barkley. It's going to be a bad one to have Dallas Goedert, 91% owned, but sit him. Put someone else in there in his place. There's going to be a lot of decent options out there on the waiver wire. I wouldn't go Jake Ferguson, but maybe Brenton Strange is out there to save you. Find yourself a guy. Find yourself a dude. Put him in there. Maybe even Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor over Dallas Goedert? I think I'll get there anyway.
Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill.
Life again. Showing life again.
He's doing wacky stuff, and he's throwing garbage time bombs to Chris Olave for some reason. Yeah, no.
He's probably out there.
All right, Yash, who's your second do not start of the fantasy finals?
So I've been going with the brand names people love to try to trust, and he's another guy who struggled down the stretch. That would be Breece Hall, running back, New York Jets. Another guy who has struggled, although he has gotten plenty of opportunity, just like Egbuka. Let's see, he's down the stretch. He hasn't had any more than 12 attempts for rushes, yet he's top 68 yards once. Other than that, really hasn't gone above 60. So he's not scoring touchdowns. They're not really using him as a receiving back out of the backfield. And he's really just kind of, seems like he's running in quicksand at this point. There's really nothing there for him unless he falls into the end zone, which that's also been very, very rare these days for the New York Jets.
That's not something the Jets do.
No, they don't. And they get the improving health of the New England Patriots and their fantastic run defense. Granted, Derrick Henry had his way last night, but who Derrick Henry does not have his way with at this point. He's his own beast. So Patriots, great run defense, getting healthy. They want to lock up the 1 seed in the AFC at this point after the results of yesterday. So it's not like he's going to be getting a lot of garbage time either. I think this is one of those games where the Patriots want a statement win. So that's probably going to involve shutting down Breece Hall. So fantasy finals, I don't know if he's a guy that you really want to have in your lineup at this point.
Pretty reasonable. The one thing that would give me pause there, you brought up that Patriots run defense, but it has sputtered quite a bit. No Milton Williams. If Robert Spillane is out again, I think then maybe you do trust Breece Hall just because there are so few playmakers in the Jets offense. They're going to spam Breece Hall carries. Maybe we'll see him get more than the 2 catches for 9 yards he had in week 16.
Possibly.
But yeah, absolutely not trustworthy. I'm going to go with a guy who's been absolutely flying right now. I'm going to make it 2 for 2 in guys trending upwards. Tony Pollard.
Oh,
3 straight 100-yard games on the ground. This guy is coming alive for a Titans team that desperately needs someone to back up Cam Ward. Cam Ward coming off his best game of the season, best game of his pro career. Tony Pollard, big-time rushing performance, but has a very difficult matchup against the New Orleans Saints. Saints, despite all their foibles, all their faults, they have a top 5 run defense. They're very good at limiting pass catchers out of the backfield, and that's never really been Pollard's game. And while he's been running the ball more, he had some pretty useful games in PPR formats earlier in the season, but lately been pretty much a non-factor. The Saints will continue that. And if they can slow him down, keep him to under 4 yards per carry, we're looking at a day where Pollard could go out there and give you 7.5 points, 8.5 points, put up some yards, but he's not going to get the PPR utility. And he's probably not going to rip off any big runs to the end zone. So you want to get bold with it, Yash. You take Tony Pollard out of your lineup. You put in maybe a Blake Corum. You figure your stuff out. You find that flex wideout that can give you Tony Pollard numbers, because I don't think Pollard's going to get anything going against these surging Saints.